burn the boat in the kingdom. Can't turn around. We're lighting up the night, shaking up the ground. Excuses and flames, yeah, we're breaking free. We'll be fire, this is our legacy.
All right.
Yeah. Jam it, baby, jam it.
Internet outages, MLS rule changes, and the Epstein Files.
Oof, man, so much drama, man, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny, the algorithm, it's like, the other day, Bitcoin's going to the moon. Now the sky is falling. We're going to see the biggest recession I've ever seen. Like, man, why can't people just stay in their lane and do the work? Like,
well, that's what we're about to talk about today, actually.
Yep. I ignore all that shit. I ignore all of it.
Yeah.
When it's going to the moon, good.
Well, that's
when it's going into recession, good.
Well, I think, this is what we wanted to talk about, 2026, everyone's in like business planning mode right now. I feel like I'm always in business planning mode. Like, I feel like I'm planning. I never come out of it. And, but especially we hit the gas when we're coming into a new year. Agents are trying to figure out, all right, what's going to be different this year? Maybe they had a good year. Maybe it wasn't the year that they thought, but in 2026, we have hope, and we're coming out of the gates with that hope, right? We know hope ain't a strategy, but it is a key ingredient in the recipe. And so, we're living, I was just watching this video, Jay, and I think everyone should watch this. It's called The Power of Vulnerability by Bryn Brown. Have you seen that TED Talk, dude?
Bryn Brown, yes.
Yeah, dude. So powerful. There's over 23 million views on that TED Talk. I think it's one of the most viewed TED Talks of everything. And I couldn't believe that I hadn't seen it yet. And she said something in there, dude. And I wrote this down because it's so applicable to, I think, this podcast that you and I are meeting and chatting about, because she said in there that we are the most in debt, obese, medicated, addicted adult cohort in U.S. history. And when you think about people wanting to plan their next year, it boils down to just a couple things. And one of the biggest things is discipline and standards. So the question is, are you worthy enough to go to a next level of standard? And when you think about your leadership and where you're at in your journey of leadership, where are your standards? Because everybody's watching. Everybody's watching you as a leader, and then they're catching it. Ed Milet talked about this, that it's caught, not taught.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids are watching you and they're catching, whether it's a good whether your standards are high, medium, or low, they're catching it all. The people that you lead, if you're a team leader, you're a broker owner, you're a leader of a large organization, they're catching everything. And so it boiled down to a look in the mirror. Where are you at in your journey? Are your standards, do they need to go up? And if they're not at that level where they need to be, then why aren't they? What do people struggle with? And what she says in there, which I think is so true, is the vulnerability of accepting that you are worthy of a higher standard. Some people they don't believe enough in themselves, and I think that going into 2026, you got to have that ingredient. You got to believe, and then you just have to start doing the damn work, the discipline, saying no. I'm having a whole group of my leaders over to my house here in Cleveland tonight, and we're going to talk about 2026, and we're going to talk about where their standards are at compared to what they have to be if they're going to grow their business and grow their organization and hit their financial goals to do what they want to do. And I think when it comes to, just since we're talking about vulnerability, for me, Jay, over the last 7-8 years that we've been on this rocket ship, we've been very fortunate. And with that fortune comes sometimes a bit of hubris, sometimes a bit of it's saying no to things. That's the discipline, saying no. We could literally do whatever we want. You know, when you hit a certain point, you could do whatever you want. No one's telling us no.
Mm-hmm.
We have to grow that discipline to be able to tell us no. You know, I stopped drinking 115 days ago, whatever it is.
Good job.
I don't miss it. I know, you know, we have to make the moves that are going to raise our standards. Every single day we look in the mirror. Does our calendar, is that where it needs to be to hit the standard we're at? Because everybody's watching. So anyway, I'm excited about this topic and this,
man.
This chat.
Yeah, dude. Me too. I think I'm on day 78, by the way.
78. Congratulations, man.
Yep. And yeah, there's been times that I've stopped, you know what I'm saying? And like, but if you give it enough time, there's kind of a realization. You're like, yeah, I was leaving about 25% of my operational efficiency on the table for that drink. Is it really worth it, man? Not if I want to if I want to hit the next level, my standards have to go up. I need that 25%. I can't be operating inefficient. So it had to happen. And you inspired me, dude, honestly. So appreciate you.
Well, I had a lot of people inspire me. One specific human individually would be Harley Dufek.
Yeah.
Shout out to Harley. And it's just, it's funny that we catch things differently when certain people say it, and other people could say it or do it, and it just doesn't hit. But when that one person was just like, well, why would you keep drinking if it's lowering your standards and it's lowering your operation, your daily operation of your execution on all what you're trying to do? And I'm like, God, that's a really good question. It's just the way he put it. Only Harley could put it that way. So love you, brother. Our brother Harley.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So 2026, man, we got so many cool things on the plate. And what it boils down to is getting into a repetition and a discipline that builds that momentum. And I feel like what I wanted to ask you, Jay, is this momentum. We've talked about it many, many times just throughout the last 2-3 months, really, where it's a noticeable momentum that has been built right now.
Yep.
And it did come from discipline. It starts with that discipline. It starts with that decision, and then momentum starts. And that's when we stop dabbling and we stop looking for the excuses as to why we can't do it. But our goal is to try to get people to believe. So like, what have you seen just in 2025 leading up to here, this momentum that we're seeing right now? What do you attribute to it? What are you from your?
Oh yeah. So certainly, I think whenever I see that something's working, it gives, I think everyone needs to see hope that there's some light at the end of the tunnel, man. I see it. I see that this is possible. Like there's some belief in things are getting better or things could get better. I think everyone needs to have that little bit of hope that you can see that this could be the way, right? Or whatever. But then I think that's what co-sponsor did for everybody in the company. Truthfully, I think people for the last probably 4 years, felt like recruiting to EXP was falling on deaf ears, getting a lot of no's, not very many people open to it, to all of a sudden they have a new breath of life and that they can co-sponsor with anyone in the company, and that's what was missing maybe. And to be truthful, it certainly is a lot easier when you have the right offer and the right value proposition, for sure. Definitely makes it significantly easier, but they could have done it all along. They could have been doing it, but it was keeping them from taking the actions daily that they needed to be taking. And it's breathed some new life into folks. And I think that's kind of my take on it. I don't know. How would you say that differently?
Yeah, I think that is it. It's a belief. It's that block. Yeah, I think people just run into a mental block of belief that like, oh, well, Jay can do it. Michael can do it. Al can do it. Or that person, they just have an advantage of some kind that I don't. And I think the truth of the matter is we're all so imperfect, but I think this is just me personally, dude. Like, I feel like I've given myself permission to have courage to be imperfect. You know, because I'm a kind of a perfectionist. And so then I start to beat myself up when something ain't like, I got to wait till it's perfect. No, that's one thing we haven't done. Shit. 5 years ago when we started this funnel pilot thing, it was so imperfect.
God,
we said, fuck it. Let's do it anyway.
Yep.
And we built the airplane while we were flying it. And some people say, well, that's not the right strategy. Then you're going to be, instead of getting from A to B quickly, you're going to be going up, down, up and around. But when we start to build something brick by brick, it's going to be imperfect. You got to give yourself permission to do it wrong and to screw up. And that's okay. And I think when people get caught up, they get
the struggle is the way. Yeah. So like, if you haven't got to the place in life where you realize that the only way is through the darkness to find the light, like there ain't no easy button for anything. You got to go through the struggle to get to it. And a lot of my own self-talk for the last 3 or 4 years was like, man, I don't want to do that because I don't want to have that many employees. I don't want to have to get on meetings every day and manage and lead people. Inherently who you have to become in order for it to be successful. And now it's a choice. Okay. Am I willing to be that person that I need to be? Am I willing to raise my standards? Am I willing to stop drinking? The opportunity is big enough. And I had to wrestle with that. And that it wasn't just that like, yeah, we're doing it. It was like, oh shit, I know what this is going to take. This is going to take a different Jay Kinder than there is right now. And so, yeah, man, you gotta be willing to push through and commit and sacrifice. It doesn't come any other way.
What we've been saying for years is what gets you to 50 transactions a year in your business isn't going to get you to 500. And what got you to 500 is not going to get you 1,000 transactions. Same thing goes with building an organization. What gets you to 50 is not going to get you to 500 agents. So what is it? That part of that's all fun to say. It kind of rolls off the tongue as a fun level talking point is what gets you here ain't going to get you there. Well, but you know what's left out? What is it? What is it? It's your standard. It's your belief in your standard. And are you okay being wrong? There was that funny meme. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it was hilarious. It's this guy. He's starting to go around doing these viral videos, these shorts about people who hate being wrong. They hate being wrong so much that they avoid taking any kind of like proactive action because they're afraid that they may fall down and hurt themselves. Okay. And so like, it's funny because he's like, I love being wrong so much. Yeah. It gives me the opportunity. Like he's kind of bragging. It's hilarious. You're going to have to find
I've seen it. No, I've seen it. It's great.
Yeah. He's like, I just love being wrong because it's my opportunity to be right and learn something. Right. And the way he does is it's funny, but the lesson behind it's so strong because what gets you that we're talking about that's missing from what gets you to 10 transactions isn't going to get you to 50. What gets you to 50 is not going to get you to 500. It's your standard. And that standard has to come like by thinking bigger. Mm-hmm. It's by giving more and giving more to your community. Now, if your community is buyers and sellers, how much more can you give to be that beacon of giving? You're thinking bigger, you're giving bigger, and your standards have gone up. And now you start to become this machine of attraction. And I think that's kind of the track that we've hit here. This train track that we've hit of attraction has come from not just thinking bigger, but removing the barriers of like, okay, I don't care. I might be wrong here. Don't care. I'll fix it as I go. But I'm going to operate right here. I'm going to fish in the ocean where I'm catching blue marlins. I'm fishing. See, and that's the thing, dude. The bigger agents that are the bigger teams, the ones doing 500, 1,000 transactions, they're not thinking on the same level as the person doing 25 to 50. They're solving different problems and their vision is way, way bigger. The question is, what's stopping everybody from getting the big vision? And for me, I think it was just a vulnerability thing. It's like, I'm okay being wrong now. Bring it. You know, that 2x4.
Yeah, dude, I've been wrong. Yeah. You asked
Get
my
me with
wife. You know, ever since I introduced my wife to ChatGPT, I've been wrong a lot more, I've noticed.
Oh, she's turning it around on you.
Yeah. She's like, I'll be like, I don't think that's true, Amber. The next thing, well, that's what ChatGPT said. I'll be like, damn, she's probably right again. All this time I thought I was right. I've always been wrong. But it's part of it, man. Like, you got to embrace being wrong. But you know that there's, you know, I think, you know, I've thought about this a lot in reflection just lately. Like, man, you couldn't be us right now, having not gone through all the shit we went through to get here and have this wisdom that we have, right? Like, we had to be wrong and so fucking wrong so many times before something, you're like, oh, I get it now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's people out there I talk to every day that they think they're right about what EXP is. They believe it, and they are not trying to be wrong about that, because they believe in what they're doing. It's the right thing, and it's the best thing for them, and that's what they know, and they're committed to it. And so they don't want to be wrong that there's a better way. And so, you know, but you got to go through life knowing, okay, where am I wrong in my thinking? It started for me back when I was making calls to leads, and I told my coach that the leads sucked. And he said, you're not following the script. I was like, bitch, I'm following the script. What are you talking about? Record your call. Okay. Record my call. I'll be like, see, I told you I was following the script. And he's like, no, you didn't. You changed it. And I was like, what do you mean? And I knew he was right, but I was like, that didn't matter, did it? But I thought I was right, man. I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Nope. Then the next week I started setting appointments, and I was like, look how dumb I am. I wonder how many times I'm going to have to learn this lesson. Hopefully not very many, because I sometimes think I'm doing it right, and it's because I'm not. And if I'm wrong here, I'm probably going to be wrong elsewhere, and I'm probably wrong in a lot of ways. And so trying to look at where you're wrong and start from that, okay, maybe I didn't follow exactly what he said. Maybe I'm not doing it exactly the way that it's been taught. Maybe I should go through the training that I never went through. Where could I get better? Where could I learn something and what am I missing? Not this doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's where people get stuck.
Man, you know where I got stuck? When I would record my calls, I wouldn't listen to them. But when I had a really good call, I'd fucking listen to that call.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that one I want to listen to. I wouldn't want to listen to the ones where I just crashed and burned, because I didn't want to hear how bad I was on that call. But those are the ones we need to be listening to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's where that courage to be wrong.
Yep.
I heard this, probably my therapist said this, we're all perfectly imperfect. I'm like, that's oil and water to me. I don't want to be I'm a perfectionist. I want things to be right. But it was a huge aha for me. I'm like, oh, wait, we can be perfectly imperfect. It's like flipping it around so my pea brain can understand it.
Right.
And it was, but for me, it was everything. It was like, okay, I'm going to give myself permission here to screw this thing up, because I know I can fix it. I'm a fixer. We like fixing shit. So I'll fix it. But before you can fix it, before you can improve, you have to get outside of that box, that comfort zone box, be able to step outside of it. And I'll tell you, dude, it's been the hardest thing for me, but that's what I've focused on this year. And I feel like the Cleveland Browns, every fucking year we hear, oh, it's a rebuilding season. We're rebuilding for the next season. And there's something to that. Now, the Browns still suck, and I'd be proud to say that I haven't spent a whole lot of time watching them lose this season. But that rebuilding mindset, for me, it's never left. But this year, when I've been able to really focus on, like, look, dude, you are not perfect, and you're going to screw this up. So, Colts. So I don't know who these names are awesome here. The fancy mongers. I don't know where these Facebook names are coming from. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody got the notice last night, but the Dallas defense is back, and the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Is that right? I heard you guys put on the Raiders.
This is one of those things. We played the 2-7 Raiders, and we played pretty good. Our defense looked pretty good. We were playing the 2-7 Raiders.
About the 2-7.
It's like there's a reason the defense looked good. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're good. It's because they played the 2-7 Raiders. But nonetheless, hey, I'll take the win. But yeah, man, and shout out to Kyle Osborne from Add Value. You know the shirt, the black shirt that I wear that says Add Value, and you can barely see it. All this hinges on, everything in my life is hinged on when I was selling real estate to everything I've ever done is how do you add the most value to someone's life? Do that as many times as you can. The money takes care of itself. And that's, I think that's, when you genuinely, and I adopted this when I was calling expireds. I remember sitting in a course, David Knox. And this guy he was real cheesy, but he had, it's a game. When you're calling expired, it's a game. Why are you getting all beat up about it? Because I hate getting hung up on. And I was like, it's a game. Well, okay, I'll play a game. Like, it was like, if you actually just are trying to help people, who cares if they hang up on you? And I was like, that actually works. I feel better when they hang up on me now. Like, I started treating it like a game. I didn't know what I was doing. Guy said it. I was like, I tried it. All of a sudden, I started calling people. I said, listen, man, I'm just trying to help. Like, you have a house that didn't sell. I don't know why it didn't sell. I'm just trying to understand because it looks to me like it should have sold. Then they start talking to me. And then I'd set an appointment. Then I'd get the listing. I was like, this is a fun game. Like, it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? But like, you gotta be willing to push through where you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, adding value is just being a giver. So how much more value can you add? How much more can you give? How much more? And let's put this into some context. What we're talking about specifically as it relates to your business is your value proposition. How much bigger can it be? Or how can you articulate it differently so the appearance or the perceived value is bigger? That's what NAEA literally wrote the Bible on that, because it's taking everything that we were all doing. We're already doing these things and articulating them in a way that's a proven, repeatable system backed by market research to sell homes for up to 18% higher than your traditional methods. And here are the laws that define how we market a home differently than your AFA, your average frustrated agent. Named our enemy. Ooh, we just hit on another one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Zillow. Whew.
Yeah.
Man, they're starting to make it too easy.
Hey, that's what they get, man. That's
too
what y'all
easy
get.
For us now.
Dude, can I make a point? You gave me a thought. So yesterday I'm on a call. Mind you, like for people that don't know, I'm doing 8 to 12 calls a day. I'm getting 8 to 10 yeses. License transfer. Today, already this morning, it was a 6-agent brokerage, small brokerage in Georgia, an individual agent at Compass, and a husband-wife team in Edmonton. I can't remember where the girl from Compass was at, but all yes. Yesterday, I'm on a call with an agent. You would know her because she had been at EXP before with us. And she went to, I can't remember where she went. I can't remember. It's in my notes probably, but she's like, man, I just talked to somebody at EXP and they said, yeah. We do all the same things that they do. We do the same funnels they do. Well, I dug a little deeper to see like, well, maybe they're co-sponsors with us and maybe, I can align and help them. Turns out they're not. They're just lying to him. So they just said, yeah, we do all the same things he does. Now they're trying to do divorce funnels or this or that or the other. But she said something during the call that stuck with me. I had no agenda other than, man, tell me what are you trying to do? Like, I genuinely just want to understand, how can I help you? I'm not trying to sell you. I don't think anybody that's ever joined EXP would say, man, yeah, Jay recruited me. I think they would say, man, I felt like Jay actually cared. And that's a huge difference. What she said specifically, and she didn't even really know what she was saying, but she's like, I felt like they were just trying to get me. She's like, no, we need to get your application in. We need to get your application. They were selling. They weren't being genuine. They weren't genuinely interested. This is Jay Abraham, Strategy of Preeminence. For anybody who wants to go chat GPT that, you should learn everything Jay Abraham teaches about the Strategy of Preeminence. It's everything we're talking about. It's the foundation of everything I've ever done. And that's just actually giving a fuck, like actually caring enough to get to know someone, to see what their frustrations are, and then how can you maybe help them. They're over there trying to be like, hey, this is the offer. I don't even know if it's going to work. Like, Yeah, you can say, yeah, we're going to do these divorce funnels. Da, 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 da. No, we'll have it in January. They were making stuff up as you go. You could tell. And I was like, and I want to assume positive intent. I assume they mean really well and they mean to add a lot of value. But unfortunately, maybe they're not. Maybe they aren't really quite able to deliver on that. And I just know that what I'm telling you is going to be better than how I sold it. Because I've been in the world where I sold some shit that wasn't as good as what it sounded better than what it is. High perceived value, but not high actual value. That's not the world you want to live in. You want to live in the world where people feel like you actually care and you're actually trying to help them. It was a huge distinction that I picked up from her. I was like, man, there really are a lot of people out there that are out there like, I set a number, I'm going to hit that number. But they're missing that element of empathy and actually caring about people. That is what the glue is to getting somebody to ever do anything. And so anyway, I don't know if that was meaningful.
Yeah, dude, it's commission breath. You're talking about.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
It's what we talked about. And you just made me think of something. If anybody listening to this wants to know what the secret, Jay Kinder's secret weapon, the weapon that I don't even know if you know. I think you were just basically laying out and touching on a strategy of preeminence, but people that don't know what that means, and this goes along with it. It's not actually the strategy of preeminence, but it is the one word, dude, that your silver bullet is vulnerability. I've listened to thousands of calls with you. We've done thousands of calls together. I've listened to them from just listening to you. The number one thing you do better than anyone else, and I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure you noticed this or not, but it is vulnerability. It is not coming at me. Dude, it is. It's not coming at somebody telling them what they should do or, selling them. Telling and selling don't work.
Right.
It's like, man, this is when I got my real estate license, this is how I felt. And I screwed this up and I screwed that up. And man, I tried running my own ads at one point. I dug in, I bought the course. I went to this, awesome conference in San Diego, and I learned all these amazing things. I got back and man, I still screwed it up. That vulnerability piece right there is in every dang call I've seen you on. And this works. I don't care, and it's not one of these things like it's a tactic. I guess it is a tactic. But it can't come across as a tactic.
No, it's got to be truth. It's got to be
genuine vulnerability, genuine desire to add value. And the only way you can do that is A, give yourself some permission to be imperfect, and B, raise your standards up. And that, I just think that's there it is. I just let it out of the bag. $20 million tool for anybody who's listening, who has a desire to grow their business and go to a level that they don't even think they get to. Start learning how to be good at fucking up and being okay with it, and moving forward and fixing it, and let everyone see. That's where the courage piece comes in. That's where I've always.
That's tough. Yeah. You don't like it when something doesn't work. You don't want to. That's not. Man, I don't like sharing that public. Like for 07 and 08, right? So we started Kinder Reese coaching during the worst financial crisis I've ever been through in my life. So I'm out here teaching, talk about incongruent. I'm out here teaching you what you should be doing when the house is falling apart. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't talk about it. And I couldn't talk about it it was too fresh. It was too fresh. I was going through it. And so I know how to build it. Now, I can't tell you what to do if another 07, 08 comes, because that shit's real hard and you're not going to like it. But I can tell you, this is how you build it. And so, I can tell you how fast it can come back down too. But we'll save that story for another day, because I'm not ready to get into it. But once I did share it, which I did, you weren't there. I don't know if Reese was there. I can't remember who all was there. There's people that are probably listening to this that were at the time, the very first time I ever shared it. And it was probably 2009 or 10, maybe. And I was at a rate conference with everybody in the room that was all look good with their awards and their medals, and and their credit cards are all tapped out, and they're out by on the surface, man, they're all winning. They're running ads in their market. They're killing it. But deep down, I knew what their businesses really looked like. And I shared the struggles, the challenges, where I went wrong, where I fucked up, where I was a poor leader, where poor leadership and poor management. Like, I was like, these were the things, the lessons that came out of that, but I wasn't ready to share it. Like, I'm just backing up what you're saying. Like, it takes courage to face it. And first of all, you got to be like, when they're going through it, you got to be willing to go, all right, what could I have done differently? Because the truth is, you could have done something different in any situation, no matter what it is. If something went wrong and you ask that question, what could I have done differently? There's going to be real quick, your brain is going to give you something that you probably could have done differently. It's never fucking someone else that did it to you. It's always something that you could have done differently had you known better, or had you had higher standards, or whatever the case might be. And so, like, you know, when all that shit went down, and, you know, kitchens, this was what happened. You know the story. My right-hand man, I mean, I'm pouring money into Kinder Reese. I'm bleeding out my ass in the real estate business. All my flips are caught. I'm caught at the high end of the market while the market's dropping. I had to turn them all into rentals. I'm writing checks to my rentals, maxed out every credit card. I'm not cutting deep enough, fast enough. And I'm not in production. I'm out of production, and I'm trying to work on the coaching business. Then I find out and I'm building new houses with Rusty Green. All of this stuff is happening. And Kitchens, Rusty, my top 3 agents, and one of my listing coordinators decide to leave and go start their own company in the middle of all of that. And I found out about it, and I fired them on the spot. And bitter as fuck, let me tell you. But the truth was, from a leadership standpoint, I didn't paint the vision for their lives that would have kept them in the pocket, that this is where you want to be. This is the ride you want to be on. And I was doing that with the intention of it, but I wasn't communicating it. And in that moment, they saw me being gone to Dallas as me abandoning them. And that was no longer what my focus was, when everything I was doing was the most important part of me being able to get to the coaching side, was my evidence of what we're doing is working. But it took me, 6, 8, maybe a year to become the human that was willing to accept that, man, that was on me. Not, you didn't do this to me. Y'all didn't just leave me. Y'all didn't betray me. I didn't lead you. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but that was the truth. And it's like, what could I have done differently? I could have communicated more frequently. I could have had more one-on-ones. I could have made sure that alignment was there and that they saw the vision. That's me, man. That's a leadership lesson. But I didn't want to see that in the beginning. I was the ostrich with my head in the sand.
Yes. Well, yeah, the perception was that you were moving on to a different pasture, a different opportunity, and all the things that you did prior up to that to get your business to that point before everything started falling apart, you stopped doing.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about, let's go back to standards again. Do you believe, I'm not talking about to you directly, but anybody, do you believe that your standards are higher than the things that you should be doing every single day? You mentioned you were on what you get on. I've seen your calendar. It's insane. And it's call. We ain't back sipping margaritas every day at a pool or screwing around. We live a good life. No doubt about it. But like, we're in the freaking trenches every single day. Calls. You look at our calendar, yours more than mine. We're doing the work. And people see it.
Mm-hmm.
Our people see that the leaders' calendars are packed and we're doing it. So because they see that we're doing it, if you're running a group of agents and you want to motivate them or inspire them to get into the office every day, make calls, your ass better be in the office and in there making the calls. If they see you doing it, they will do it. Monkey see, monkey do. And I don't mean that agents are monkeys like Dave Ramsey. Okay. Delete that from the podcast. We're not calling monkeys. But what we are saying is that we have to have a high standard, yet realistic enough that we're willing to jump into that river and we're willing to swim across it. I'm going first. Okay. And here's what it looks like, which is why we literally have a training, and from role playing every single day of the week, 8 a.m., our team's starting the role play. We get people on there making calls. Now, sometimes those are calls to buyer seller. Sometimes those are agent calls. depending on how they're growing their business. But they're doing it every single day. We do it every single day. Mindset. The biggest thing people, they get caught up in our mind. That's for me. I was always just caught up in my mind, which I actually, full transparency, I was texting you all weekend long. Like, dude, I can't sleep. It felt like when I first seen EXP, like what we're working on for 2026 right now, I can't fucking sleep.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're a foot from gold, man. We're on the right track when, you know, you're losing sleep over this shit, not in a bad way where you're worrying. It's excitement.
Yeah. But yes, for sure. So while I still can't sleep, just so you know, so nobody gets confused, you're going to get kicked in the nuts a lot. And so I got kicked in the nuts this weekend. You know what happened? Every single fucking website at Go High Level shows a 404. Everyone. Every single fucking thing I've ever built in Go High Level, gone.
Holly told me.
Yeah. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Kick right in the nuts. Right when you're like, man, it couldn't get no better than this. Just like, oh yeah, let me show you something. You think that things are good? Let me give you a fun day. Whack. Yeah. That's going to happen. But you work through it. You got to muscle through it. But that knowing you're on the right track, man, knowing you're doing the right things, knowing you're making progress, you got to expect the kick in the nuts. It's coming. You got to keep your head on.
We screwed up the caption of this podcast. We screwed it all up. Big thinking, big giver, bigger standards. I should have said bigger kicks in the nuts.
Right. Yep. Get ready for it. Just when you think everything's going to go just perfect. Couldn't be any better.
We got it fixed though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Internet's breaking everywhere. We're staying focused. 2026. The reason I can't sleep, dude, with what we got going on here. Funnel Pilot has hit a point where I just feel like we've hit that scale point, right? Now we're able to on demand create a funnel for someone with minimum 100 leads a month coming in. Within minutes, we can get this up and running. A fully built professional lead follow-up, the whole nine, done for you. The implementation part that everybody gets stuck at, we take it off it's humming. Now we're adding seller leads. Now we're adding multiple offers. We're going down and we're building it, and we're going to screw this one up too, by the way. We're going to screw it up. But when we get, give us 3-4 months, this thing's gonna be humming, and we're gonna have what we're building is a machine that an agent can plug into seamlessly that we can help implement from beginning to end. All you gotta do is the work, make the calls to where you can get enough opportunities to talk with sellers where you could take a listing a week. That's what we're creating right now. The new side of the funnel, a listing a week. We already have agents that are doing it, and we're not going to launch it until we're close to being perfect. It's still going to be imperfect.
Yeah.
The new product.
I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Like the thing that you have to take with anything that we're saying is that we've already done this shit imperfectly lots of times. So our imperfect is going to be light years ahead of the average thing that you come across where somebody's trying to sell you something. And I want to make this point too, because the unique thing about everything we're doing, and I talk about this a lot, me and you do, Al, like everything I've ever done had a revenue target my whole life. Like, got to get to this number, got to get to that number, sales, marketing, everything was focused on that. We don't need to focus on money. The money is already coming in. So what do we focus on? Man, every time an agent gets to this part right here, they get stuck. How do we remove that bottleneck? Hey, this question comes up a lot. How do we make sure they know this so they don't have that question and they don't get stuck? Most people, because this is only because of the model of EXP, our compensation is in alignment with not having to focus on sales and marketing so that we can focus on product iterations and improvement. I talked to a guy today that totally got that. Like, he's like, that's incredible. And I was like, it really is, because I've never been in a place where if I was building a company and I raised a shit ton of money that I had sitting aside, most people are going to blow through that money doing everything stupid possible, and they're going to end up failing the company. I would focus on, how do you make it perfect? How do you make it better? How do you make it better? How do you make it better? And getting to do that just means that we're staying in the pocket, man. We know where you struggle. We know what hurdles that you're going to hit along the way. If we can remove those obstacles, make this done for you. No, implement that. No, they don't need to be messing with that. Okay. They suck on the phone. What do? We can train them. Yeah, they suck at being trained. So, all right, maybe AI can do it for them. All right, let's do it for them. Like, there's so many things now that we could do that would have been impossible before. It just gives us the ability to create things that have never been created. And because we're not thinking of the money, we're not going to be nickel and diming people. We're not like, oh, and that's $50 a month, and that's $150, and that's $3,000. Oh, no, we're doing this only to add value. That's it. And that's it. Fundamentally, if you want to compete with that, you have to have a business model that pays you an extraordinary amount of money on the back end, and it's got to come from somewhere that's not the agent. So figure out how you compete with that, because I don't know how you would ever do it, right?
Or don't figure out how you can compete with it. Just figure out how you can partner with us.
Right, come play with us.
I mean, fastest way to A to B, duplication. Duplicate what works. And I think that's the one part we left out of this whole thing, is that every single thing we work on, it's duplicatable. Anybody can do it that has a high enough standard and it's willing to work and put the work in. There won't be any excuses other than if you're looking for one, just walk your ass into the bathroom and look in the mirror. That's the only thing you're going to have to point at. You know, what we're doing isn't theory. It's not out of some textbook. Now, we've read a lot of textbooks. I got a whole garage full of them.
Yep.
But we're going to fast track that. It's like the Cliff's Notes on getting from A to B. But you got to show up. You got to raise your standards. You got to be okay being wrong. You got to be okay with it not being perfect and working through those challenges and not walking away and be like, that didn't work for me. We tried the funnel pilot. Those leads sucked. I got evidence. And that evidence is millions of dollars in commissions that we've created, tens of millions of dollars in commissions that our agents are cashing checks. They're cashing checks, and if you're not, you're cashing commission or your excuses.
Yeah. Yep.
You're cashing the excuse check, and we refuse to cash those checks.
Yeah, it's one of those things like. You know, I hope if you go and Google my name and look for, like, find somebody that says there's one person that says something bad about me once, and I'm like, man, did I just have a bad day and tell someone off? Because that's very possible. But I try really hard. Like, if you're really trying to get to the goal, I'm gonna move mountains to try to help you. Like, I don't ever just tell people to F off. Not that I can think of. Anyway, I'm trying to qualify myself here. Like, all right, are you really that good or not? But certain things do trigger me. But like, if you're not getting to success, I just understand it's something you're missing. Anything you want in your life that you don't have yet is something you haven't learned yet, and that's all it boils down to. And be okay with that. That's like, all right, where am I wrong? If you adopt that as your mental model moving forward, you will get to your goals much faster.
All right, my man. Well, this was a fiery one.
We're on again. We're on that.
We didn't even get to the Epstein Files.
Yeah. Nothing in them. Nothing valuable.
Hey,
nothing.
Just a full disclosure, we had zero planning on talking about the Epstein Files. That was literally a hook to get you to watch.
I don't even know what's in them or on them.
I have no
clue. To it.
Yeah,
doesn't serve you or me.
Yeah. So hit up jkinder.com, albiestasic.com. Come partner with us. Jump on this ride, because the roller coaster is heading up the track right now. It's gaining speed. We're having a blast, and the momentum going into 2026 is it's unstoppable. Unstoppable. Hit the wave, grab your surfboard, and catch one with us. And we're gonna have 2026 is gonna be a fun one, man.
Yeah, baby.
I appreciate you.
Get it.
All right, brother. You at the top.
From the top.